all squared away, we'll get started with your questions.
Scott, I saw that Rhys is co-number 1. Is he going to play on Saturday?
We're still trying to determine what's going on with Rhys. I've said this before. We're taking his issues very seriously. We got to wait and try to get more clarity and resolution before the week comes up, and then several people will sit down and try to make the best decision.
At this point, does the university allow him to play this game with unresolved legal issues?
Yeah, you know, we're having those discussions. We will continue to have those discussions. I think there's certain things that would lead to us absolutely not letting him play, and certain things that could happen that would lead us to considering it. So that still has to be worked through, and we're trying to gather information to make a good decision for this weekend.
Did you expect that it would go down to the wire like this, or had you hoped for clarity before you got to it?
I'm just coaching a football team. Those things are being worked out by other people that do that for a living. Like I said, we're taking it very seriously and are going to try to do what's right for everybody involved.
Season ended with Iowa last year, so here we are right before week 1. How much better is your team today than it was late November last year?
My hope coming out of last year was that we could build off the momentum and improvement that we made in the second half of the season. I think our guys have done that from winter conditioning to spring ball to summer conditioning to now. We're a lot better football team. I've said that repeatedly, but we're better at almost every position. We're better at every single position group, I believe. I think we're going to be better on special teams and more talented. And that's all great, but we have to go out as a team and play like we've been practicing and try to earn some wins.
Scott, how do you feel about the 4 co-captains that were elected over the weekend?
I was really excited, especially excited to see the look on those guys' face when we announced Saturday night who the captains were. Those are the guys that are elected by their peers. The team voted on it. A lot of guys got votes, but those 4 were clearly the leading vote getters. I think it says a lot about the 2 guys on offense that they're elected as a sophomore and a junior. Mo Berry obviously been good leader for our team since I've been here. Says a lot about Darian Daniels. I believe he's going to be a captain on 2 different Power 5 teams in 2 years, and he did a great job coming in and not just doing things right himself, but holding other people to a standard that he expected. And it was great to see our team recognize that.
Coach Blackshirt saying that today. Can you tell us who all was here at Cannon Mountain well into that decision?
Yeah, we actually, this was kind of a spur of the moment thing, but you know, we didn't just want to have the black shirts show up in guys' lockers. We wanted it to kind of mean more than that. So we got on the phone and got some of the black shirts that are in the vicinity to come to practice today. They kind of took turns one by one coming up in front of the team and telling us what they thought it meant to be a black shirt and what a black shirt stood for. And then they presented the black shirts to the guys. Some of them were my teammates, some were my good friends. They did an unbelievable job. The Kelsey brothers were here, Jason Peters, Steve Warren, Barrett Rude, Mark Munford, Kenny Wilhite, Tony Veland, Keo Craver, Zach Bowman, some great Huskers and great black shirts, and their message to the team was spot on. So it was a inspiring and neat scene after practice to see that happen.
Scott, what was their message to the players? What do you think?
Each one of them gave their own message in the meeting of Blackshirt. I left out Jay Foreman too, who was my teammate. You know, I don't want to necessarily say what they said, but individually, you know, Jay Foreman's was one of the neatest ones to me. He said there's only 2 jerseys up in his office, his first Husker jersey and his black shirt, and actually said that he's in his will going to be buried with his black shirt. So if anything tells you what it means to some of those guys, his message told us that.
Can you share how many received black shirts today?
I don't know the exact number. I guess I could figure it out, but Carlos Davis, Darian Daniels, Khalil Davis, Ben Stilley, Caleb Tannor and Alex Davis, Lamar Jackson, Markel Dismuke, Deontay Williams, DiCaprio Boodle, and Cam Taylor. They've earned it.
Watching Adrian at quarterback here for the first month, last month, have you had any wow moments just watching him?
Yeah, Adrian provides us with at least a wow moment a day. He made a throw the other day that I've never really seen before, maybe watching the Chiefs play last year. We just need him like the team. We need him to play like he's been practicing. He's way more comfortable in the offense. Obviously has the talent to make about any play he needs to on the football field. Now we just need to be efficient and have that happen at a high rate.
Okay, Scott, what kind of jump is Caleb Tannor taking? I mean, I know you were hoping for him to make a big jump physically, but being a Blackshirt, being listed as a #1, would indicate that he's had a pretty good.
Caleb's had a good camp. He's played harder. I think he knows what he's doing better. He's shown up more. He's doing better off the field with things that probably prevented him from having a better year last year. And in some ways, I think he was given an opportunity maybe by a couple other guys being out. JoJo missing some time early, it gave him some more reps. A couple other guys getting nicked up, gave him some more reps, and he took advantage of it.
When you look at the 4-game redshirt rule, I mean, how many guys are kind of on that fence right now when you kind of look at some of the newcomers and how you use their eligibility this year?
There's a bunch of guys that I think fall into unique categories with the 4-game redshirt rule. There's some guys that we need to play now or have earned the right to play and play the entire season. Some other guys, we're still kind of in wait-and-see mode if we want to use the year or not. Ideally, for most of them, it would be to play them in 4 games and save the year. There's some other positions where we might be able to, with a couple guys in that situation, we might be able to play one for 4 games and the other for 4 games to give us depth and help on special teams. So there's some that are clear that they're going to play. There's some that are clear they're going to redshirt, and there's others that we're still going to be in a holding pattern and wait and see on, and hopefully we get at least 4 games out of them.
Scott, Adrian hadn't started the game as of this point a year ago. He's the most productive freshman quarterback in the country last year, now as a team captain. Would you see him being on this kind of a time schedule as far as his career progress?
I would have guessed that this is what Adrian would have accomplished, just knowing Adrian and the type of person that he was, getting to know him in recruiting and before we started last year. He certainly hasn't disappointed. He's been a leader on our offense, which again was kind of a necessity since we're still really young on offense. We won't have very many seniors on the field this year on offense, so I think that's why you see 2 underclassmen captains on offense. But Adrian came in. We weren't sure what we were going to get last year. We had a pretty good idea of what we hoped he could be last year, and I think he at least met those expectations for a first-year player. He's considerably better right now, so I hope he keeps meeting and exceeding our expectations.
Most said that the team was watching a lot of footage from the Troy game last year to prepare for this game. Do you think that's an accurate comparison for South Alabama?
I hope he's not watching them too much because we're not playing them. But our team needs to remember the past, live in the present, and do the best we can in the future. Coach Chin said that today. We need to learn from some of the things that happened last year, and on getting beat by a good Troy team that came in here certainly wasn't one of our brightest moments. I think they're doing everything they can to be ready for this one and try not to let that happen.
Austin Allen is listed as a co-starter at tight end. What kind of improvements have you seen from him over the last year?
Yeah, Jack Stoll's had a great camp, and we feel great with him as our lead guy. But Austin is improved by leaps and bounds to the point that there's no drop-off when he's in and Jack isn't. There's going to be a lot of sets that we run with both those guys on the field. So we thought it was just and fair to list them both as ones because that's how we feel about them.
Will you have any message for the freshmen or newcomers who this will be the base crowd they play in front of Saturday?
You can try to talk to guys about the excitement of Memorial Stadium all you want, and until you run out the tunnel and get the juice and experience it, it's hard to prep guys for it. We'll have talks about all that, but usually the guys that have showed up as freshmen and not been afraid of the environment or competing with older guys when they got here are the ones that aren't going to be shaken by the noise in the crowd.
Scott, there was some talk earlier from Diedrick Mills and from defensive guys about him and the way that he runs. What do you expect from the get-go to get from him out of that position?
Yeah, Diedrick is a little like Adrian, and what I was saying about him, we had high hopes for what we were getting when we got him out of junior college. I think he surprised me at how quickly he's caught on and his talent. He's been a real pleasant surprise in camp, and I see good things coming from him. He runs really hard and plays hard and comes to practice every day and works. Probably got better breakaway speed than I expected, and he's hard to bring down. So he's going to be a big addition to our offense, and I expect he'll be on the field first play come Saturday.
Opener of the season, obviously nerves, excitement. You as a player and now as a coach, do you feel, though, a lot more stress going into this season after the way the season started last year?
I feel way less stressed going into this season than I did last year. We still had a lot of unknowns last year. We had a lot of guys that were still learning, a lot of guys that were question marks in our mind of how they were going to play. We have way fewer of those this year. For the most part, we have a team that's doing absolutely everything we ask them to do, that's competing on the practice field every day. Their consistency through camp and how they've been practicing leads me to believe that that's what I'm going to see come Saturday. You still never know, but I think last year I was a little apprehensive going into the start of the season. This year I'm excited.
How much faster will this offense be, just from a play-to-play standpoint of guys knowing what to do, and how might it look different with fans, even if it isn't obvious play-to-play?
You know, we're going to be fast at times, and I hope when our fast is happening that it's a lot faster than it was last year. There's going to be other times that we're not. Practices have been faster, so I expect the tempo to be better when we want it to be. I hope the fans see a difference in execution, that our guys are able to run each play well on both sides of the ball, run each scheme well, understand the scheme and make adjustments. And the repetition that we got in camp hopefully leads us to a little cleaner execution on both sides.
You averaged 30 points a game last year, which is bad. Do you have a sense of what the numerical possibilities are if you guys execute the way you want?
No, you know, I like statistics after the season and maybe in bye weeks. During the season, we just want to win the games. 30 points isn't bad. I don't want to be just not bad, and I don't think our guys do either. The big message, without getting into 30.3 or 37.2, I think the big message to the guys is if we could score one more time on offense every game compared to last year and stop the other team one more time a game, that's a big difference, and probably would have led to 4 or 5 more wins last year at least. So if we're worried about the wins and losses, that's an easy place to find them.
Yeah, I think 6 listed on the depth chart on the defensive line. Do you feel comfortable with guys beyond the ones that are on the depth chart in that spot, or is that sort of your set?
Yeah, the D-line is probably the one place where we're the most veteran and have the most seniors. We also got some really good young players there. So we didn't go too deep on the depth chart because we didn't want to leave anybody out toward the bottom. But there's a lot of guys that we feel great about that are ready to play now and that are definitely, we feel like, are going to be good players around here in the future. So there's a lot of names. I won't get into them, but that's one of our deepest and most veteran units. But there's some guys that aren't on this list that are talented enough to be great players this year and beyond.
You went with JD as your punt returner. I guess, what do you want to see from that position? I know it looked like there was a lot of competition to kind of win that job.
Yeah, the great thing about special teams, I think we have a lot more guys capable of doing all the jobs than we did a year ago. Having good special teams is partly focus on it and making a priority. It's partly technique, but in a large part it's just having more athletes. We have a lot more athletes on the team this year. Punt returner, I feel like there's a lot more guys that we'd feel good about putting back there. But JD's pretty special with the ball in his hands, and we're going to use him when we can, and when he's not ready to go or we need to rest him, there's some other guys that can do the job as well.
Did you expect coming into camp that Juergens would get to this point this soon? What kind of endurance does he have considering the time that he missed?
Cam has done a great job in this rehab. We weren't really expecting to have him until a couple weeks into the season, I would say. And he healed up pretty quick, got out onto the field faster than we thought, and made an impact faster than we thought once he got out there. We might keep him on a pitch count early on just to make sure we're not overloading him too fast, but he has a chance to be a pretty good player.
What impresses you about Wandale Robinson just being a true freshman and contributing so much now as starter? What do you like the most about Wandale?
Wandale's done a great job coming in and learning. We feel like we can use him in multiple spots. He picked up the offense really fast. He's one of the kids that we have that just understands football, understands space, how to get open, concepts. And on top of that, he's a talented kid. So look forward to seeing what he can do on the field. He was nicked up a little in camp, too, and missed a little time. So hopefully he's in good enough shape to play as many reps as he can, because we'll be a better team with him on the field.
Scott, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but which of the middle linebackers got black shirts?
Did I leave that out? Sorry. We gave 3 to the middle backers, Mo Berry, Colin Miller, and Will Honus.
And when you look at this season as a whole, how important is just the start of it, when you kind of look at what you went through a year ago and the drama of being through an 0-6 start?
Well, hopefully we play more than one play Saturday. I know those guys are excited to come up here, and watching them on tape, I think they're a well-coached team with some good athletes. But our guys are excited to play too. Hopefully we get to play it, that we play well and execute well. We're excited. I think the whole team is looking forward to competing against someone else instead of against each other.
You look this one, guys.
No, have you?
Coach, I'm from Norfolk, so I got to ask, Ethan Piper, Ryan Schomer, Lane McCallum, you have an overall blanket statement on this?
Yeah, McCallum kind of joined camp a little later, but he's an important part of our team, does a great job every single day. Schomer was in camp, made some big improvements. Ethan Piper did a really good job coming in as a true freshman. He's one of those guys on the bubble of whether we're going to play him this year or try to save his year, because I know he's going to be a really good player for us down the road. Maybe not quite ready right now, but I don't think it'll be very long. So we're going to kind of take a wait-and-see approach on that one.
Isaac Armstrong is listed as your starting punter. Is that battle going to continue into the season? I mean, how do you kind of handle that punter situation?
Yeah, the whole walk-on to walk-on rule, where we have a transfer from Michigan State that is eligible right now. He's done a great job. Isaac, obviously, when called into duty last year, came in and did really well for us. Both those guys have been punting the ball really well, so I feel great about both of them. We don't like to put pressure on guys by saying if you don't do a good job, someone else is there, but we feel good that if things aren't going well, we have another guy in the chamber ready to put in the game.
Coach, with the expansion of the walk-on program, how do you manage all of your team on a game day, being able to, locker and I guess participate in all of the, the different types of things that you want to do?
Well, luckily I have good people that are working in the football office that can pay attention to that, so I don't have to. But on a game day, we want our guys involved in the game, so a bunch of them will be suited up and dressed, ready to play. Some others are on the sideline in jerseys. And some guys we definitely know are redshirting might have to be in the stands year one. When I was a redshirt here in '95, I was in the stands, so I've been through that. It just makes you more hungry to put yourself in a better place the next year. But with the roster the size we have, we just don't have room on the sideline, so that's the way it'll be. But we want everybody to feel like they're a part of it.
Scott, are you thankful that game one is at 11 a.m., so you don't have to wait all day with all the anticipation and hype surrounding the game?
Yeah, we're excited to get the game kicked off. Coaches kind of like the 11 o'clock slot because we're able to get up, get the game played, and get on to other things rather than sitting around and waiting for it all day. And then if there's lightning at 11 o'clock, I think we'll still have time the rest of the day to figure something out.
Anything else?
You like the week 0 game? I don't know if you watched it or not. Pretty messy at times. Would you like that game? Would you ever consider doing it?
Yeah, if the circumstances were right, I think week 0 is great. I think the public is anxious for college football to start. You get to start practice a week earlier, so it shouldn't really make a difference in your team's execution. You get the same amount of practice before the game, and if we're ever presented that opportunity, I think it'd be good for our team.